Here are the Casio Tone CTS400 and LKS450 from Casio. In today's video, I will review the features, sound quality, and key action of these keyboards and help you make an informed buying decision. Those who watch to the end of this video will be rewarded with a little secret. Both the Casio Tone CTS400 and LKS450 come with 61 full-size touch-sensitive keys. There are 4 velocity curves you can choose from depending on your playing style. The keys are synth action keys and are not weighted, but they have a semi-weighted feel to it, which is greater for playing piano and electric piano tones. The white keys are lightly textured and the black keys have a matte finish, which is what I prefer over the glossy plastic keys found on competing keyboards. I live in the tropics and my fingers do sweat after extended playing, but these key surfaces help me feel confident. There is some key noise if I press the keys without turning on the keyboard, but are not audible once I start playing at a moderate volume. The difference in the keys of the CTS400 and the LKS450 is the key lighting system. The keys on the LKS450 light up to guide you on the notes you need to play when you are using the lesson feature of the LKS450 and when you play MIDI files on the keyboard. Up to 10 keys can light up at the same time and the key lighting feature can be turned off when you no longer need them. If you're new to playing the piano or keyboard or want to pick up jazz piano techniques, you are in luck. The sponsor of today's video, Skillshare, is giving the first 1,000 of you who click the link in the description a free trial of premium membership. Skillshare is an online learning community where millions of creative and curious lifelong learners come together to improve themselves with thousands of inspiring classes. Whether you are a beginner trying to learn your first piano tune or an advanced musician interested in jazz improvisation, being a Skillshare member gets you unlimited access to thousands of inspiring classes for different skill levels. For less than $10 a month, you get classes that are curated specifically for learning with no disruptive ads so you can stay focused and productive. I love taking portraits of my family, and Jessica Kobesi's class on Skillshare taught me how to shoot Instagram-worthy portraits. With Skillshare, my photography skills improved tremendously after I learned to plan, shoot, and added my family portraits. So what are you waiting for? Be the first 1,000 to click the link in the description for a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership. Both the CTS 400 and LKS 450 come with identical 600 tones powered by Casio's new AIX sound chip found on the CTX keyboards, making these Casio tones sound much better than the CTS 100, 200, and 300, which uses the older AHL sound chip. The 600 tones are grouped into 14 categories, making it easier to select voices compared to previous Casio tones. These tones can be layered or split, and I was able to easily balance the volume mix of the voices, a feature not available on earlier Casio tones. To thicken up these tones, Casio gives you 20 reverb, 10 chorus effects, and 10 master EQ settings. I wasn't too enthusiastic that most tones come with factory programmed DSP effects with no way to switch off the DSP or to vary the amount of effect applied. While both these keyboards support a sustain pedal, there is a convenient configurable panel sustain button if you want to sustain your notes without a pedal. I was surprised to see that the sustain pedal can be used with specific voice layers, which is useful when you want to layer piano and strings but want only sustain notes on the piano tone. Casio also included 100 arpeggiator patterns, useful for those playing electronic dance music or tricky piano arpeggios. Thankfully, Casio didn't include the cheesy dance music mode found on previous Casio tones. Instead, Casio included 12 auto harmonies, which are really useful for thickening up melodies with little effort. With all these fantastic features, it is ironic that the more expensive CTS 400 and LKS 450 gets only 48 notes of polyphony, whereas the cheaper Casio CTS1 without all these bells and whistles gets 64 notes of polyphony. On the CTS 400, you get a useful pitch bend, which is unfortunately not available on the more expensive LKS 450. You can find more information and the latest price of the CTS 400 and LKS 450, as well as my list of recommended keyboards, pianos, and music learning apps in the description below. Unlike the Casio CTS1, both the CTS 400 and LKS 450 are arranger keyboards. This means that these keyboards come with 195 rhythms and accompaniment patterns, which isn't available on the CTS1. These accompaniment rhythms are useful for solo playing, for singing along, or just to sketch out music arrangements. The rhythms are grouped into 15 categories for quick recall, a massive improvement from previous Casio tones. If none of the 195 rhythms are suitable for you, these keyboards give you the ability to load up to 10 more user-created rhythms, which you can easily find online. Each rhythm comes with 2 variations, 2 rhythm fills, 1 intro, and 1 ending. In my opinion, while these accompaniment rhythms are a huge improvement from previous Casio tones, they just aren't as well programmed as the competition. Transitions between rhythm variations and rhythm fills are not as smooth as the competition. Don't get me wrong, the accompaniments aren't bad by any means, but the competition just does it a little bit better. Casio, however, makes up for this by having every imaginable chord detection mode which the competition sorely lacks. These new keyboards also correct a critical flaw found in the previous Casio tones. On the previous Casio tones, when in accompaniment mode, you cannot play a chord without triggering a rhythm, which is a problem for my beginner students taking my online keyboard course and wasn't ready to play with a beat. This has thankfully been corrected on these models. If you're new to Arranger keyboard playing, do check out my beginner Arranger keyboard course at jeremyc.com. These keyboards have the usual standard features such as a metronome and a mini headphone jack which doubles as an audio output for connecting to external speakers. In addition to an audio in jack and USB MIDI port, you can purchase an optional wireless MIDI and audio Bluetooth adapter. I would have preferred these wireless features to be built into the keyboard, but I understand from Casio that this would raise the cost of the keyboard and not everyone requires this feature. These keyboards can be powered via an electrical outlet or AA batteries, and the LKS450 comes with a microphone input as well as reverb and chorus effects you can apply to your voice for you to sing along with. Casio wants you to make music anywhere with these keyboards, so to help you carry your keyboard around more easily, there is a recessed carry handle as well as 2 pins for you to attach a standard guitar strap. Adding a strap also converts your keyboard to a guitar if that's how you prefer to play your keyboard. I have large hands and the carry handle is pretty shallow. It just isn't as comfortable to grip compared to previous Casio tones, which had a huge handle cutout that doubles as a slot for the music rest, a brilliant design element which isn't carried forward to the current keyboards. The CTS 400 and LKS 450 come with a rather functional but rather uninspiring wireframe music rest. I absolutely love this backlit LCD screen. It is large, bright, legible, and is context aware. Depending on the mode you are in, the functions below the screen change dynamically to best suit your situation. What's more, when you are on the home screen, each of the 5 buttons can be user configured to trigger different functions according to your needs. The CTS-400 and LKS-450 also now comes with a 6-track recorder with the capacity to save up to 5 songs. Although, frankly, multi-track song recording is best accomplished via MIDI with free software such as GarageBand or Cakewalk on your iPad or computer. Casio has a Kodana app for you to learn songs using MIDI, but in my opinion, third-party music learning apps do a better job. You can find my recommended music learning apps in the description below. Unlike previous Casio tones where we could only save a single measly user registration, the CTS-400 can now save up to 32 user registrations. However, the more expensive LKS-450 sacrifices this feature in exchange for a lesson mode. Yes, you heard me right. The LKS-450 doesn't allow you to save 32 of your own user registrations. Which one of these keyboards you choose really depends on what you will use it for. The CTS-400 and LKS-450 have the same 13 by 6 cm speakers and a pair of 2.5 watts amplifiers as the CTS-1, and they are very good. With 5 watts of amplification, the volume won't be very loud, but the sound is clean, clear, and distortion-free even when the volume is pushed to the max. Casio also cleverly created 2 perforated cutouts below the keyboard for the sound output, so you get a bigger stereo effect with the surround button activated. While everything is made of plastic, the textured panels on the keyboards give a premium feel to it. Here are my final thoughts. Just like the previous Casio tones, Casio is again forcing us to choose between having nice cheerful colors or having features we want. If you want a Casio tone in the much more interesting and nicer red or white colors, you cannot have the arranger accompaniment rhythm features, which in my opinion is quite a misstep. Till this part of the video, I'm gonna reward you with this information. If you do not need ultra portability, Casio has another keyboard which is up to $100 cheaper than the CTS 400 and LKS 450, has the same tones, rhythms, features, and functionality, as well as the ability to save 32 registrations without sacrificing the lesson mode. I will leave a link in the description to this cheaper and better Casio keyboard, so do check it out before curiosity kills the cat. My name is Jeremy C. Please share this video with your friends, and I'll see you soon.